Apple is the most valuable tech company in the world today. Its products, iPhones, MacBooks, iPads, and Apple Watches, are used by millions of people worldwide. Would you believe that the company that changed the way we use technology started in a small garage, built by two young men barely out of college? This is the story of Apple and its founders, Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak. Humble beginnings. Steve Jobs was born in 1955 in San Francisco, America. From a young age, he was curious, creative, and full of ideas. He loved electronics and had a passion for taking things apart to see how they worked. Steve Wozniak, or Woz, was born in 1950 and shared the same love for electronics. He was a brilliant engineer, always tinkering with circuits and building gadgets in his spare time. Both of them were part of the Silicon Valley scene in the 1970s, a time when personal computing was just starting to emerge. Computers existed, but they were massive, expensive machines used mainly by corporations and universities. The idea that an average person could own a computer was almost unimaginable. Jobs and Wozniak met through a mutual friend, and they instantly connected over a shared dream, making computers accessible to everyone. Jobs, who was visionary and ambitious, knew how to sell ideas, while Wozniak had the technical genius to bring those ideas to life. Together, they formed a partnership that would change the world: the Garage Startup. In 1976, Jobs and Wozniak officially founded Apple Computer in Jobs' parents' garage in Los Altos, California. The first product they created was the Apple I, a fully assembled circuit board that could be used as a personal computer. At the time, most computers required users to assemble parts themselves, which was intimidating for many people. Jobs saw the potential to turn Wozniak's invention into a product that could be sold. He went door to door, pitching their computer to local electronics stores. One store, the Byte Shop, agreed to buy 50 units of Apple I at $500 each. For Jobs and Wozniak, this was the first big step toward turning their dream into reality. They used their savings and some money borrowed from family and friends to build the first batch of computers. The garage became their workspace, office, and assembly line all at once. Jobs handled marketing and sales, while Wozniak focused on building and improving the machines. Early struggles. Success did not come easily. The first challenge was funding. Banks were reluctant to lend money to two young men with no business track record. Jobs and Wozniak relied on personal loans, family support, and credit cards to keep the operation running. There were technical challenges too. Computers were still new to most people, and explaining how they worked to potential buyers required patience and creativity. But Jobs' ability to communicate the vision and Wozniak's engineering skills kept the company moving forward. Despite the obstacles, Apple started gaining attention. Their products were different. They were simpler, more user-friendly, and designed to make computing accessible. People began to notice that Apple wasn't just another electronics company, it was creating something revolutionary. The launch of Apple II. The turning point for Apple came in 1977 with the launch of the Apple II. Unlike the Apple I, the Apple II was a fully assembled personal computer with color graphics, an integrated keyboard, and storage capabilities. It was one of the first mass-market personal computers and was a huge success. Apple II caught the attention of hobbyists, schools, and small businesses. It became a status symbol among tech enthusiasts, and Apple started generating significant revenue. The company moved from the garage into a proper office space and hired more staff to meet growing demand. The Apple II's success established Apple as a serious player in the emerging personal computer market. Jobs' vision of a computer for everyone was finally starting to take shape. Going public and expansion. By 1980, Apple was ready to go public. The company offered shares on the stock market, and the IPO was a massive success. Overnight, Jobs, Wozniak, and early investors became millionaires. Apple's valuation skyrocketed, and it became one of the most talked-about companies in Silicon Valley. With this new influx of capital, Apple expanded rapidly. They invested in research and development, hired top engineers, and launched new products. The company was no longer just a startup, it was becoming a tech powerhouse. However, rapid growth brought new challenges. Jobs' leadership style was intense and demanding, which created tension with employees. He was known for being a perfectionist, sometimes harsh, but his relentless pursuit of excellence drove the company forward. The Macintosh Revolution. In 1984, Apple launched the Macintosh, a computer designed to be intuitive and easy to use. It featured a graphical user interface, a mouse, and a focus on design and user experience. The Macintosh was revolutionary, setting Apple apart from competitors like IBM. The launch was accompanied by a famous Super Bowl commercial directed by Ridley Scott, which portrayed the Macintosh as a tool of freedom and creativity. The message was clear: Apple was not just selling computers, it was promoting a new way of thinking. Although sales were initially slower than expected, the Macintosh built a loyal following. It became popular in creative industries like publishing, design, and education. Jobs' vision of combining technology with art and human-centric design started to define Apple's identity. Setbacks and departure. Despite successes, internal conflicts arose. In 1985, after a power struggle with the board of directors, Steve Jobs left Apple. It was a shocking moment for the tech world. Jobs went on to start a new company called Next and also acquired a small animation studio called Pixar, which would later create blockbuster movies like Toy Story. Meanwhile, Apple struggled without Jobs' visionary leadership. The company released several products that failed to gain traction, and competitors like Microsoft were dominating the market with their Windows operating system. Apple's identity and innovation seemed to be fading. The return of Jobs. In 1997, Apple acquired Next, bringing Steve Jobs back into the company. Jobs returned with a mission: to save Apple from near bankruptcy. He immediately streamlined the product line, focusing on simplicity and quality. He canceled failed projects, simplified product categories, and redefined Apple's design philosophy. Jobs introduced the Think Different campaign, emphasizing creativity, innovation, and challenging the status quo. The message resonated with consumers, and Apple's brand began to regain its aura of innovation and style. The iEra, iMac, iPod, iPhone. Jobs knew Apple needed groundbreaking products to regain dominance. In 1998, Apple launched the iMac, a colorful, user-friendly computer that became a cultural phenomenon. The iMac's success revived Apple's sales and reputation. Next came the iPod in 2001, which revolutionized music consumption. For the first time, people could carry thousands of songs in their pocket. iTunes complemented the iPod, creating an ecosystem that transformed the music industry. In 2007, Apple launched the iPhone, a product that redefined mobile technology. It combined a phone, music player, and internet device in one sleek design. The iPhone set a new standard for smartphones and propelled Apple to unprecedented global dominance. The App Store followed in 2008, creating an entirely new economy for software developers. Apple became a company not just known for hardware, but for its ecosystem, software, and services. Global expansion and legacy. Under Jobs, Apple expanded globally, opening stores in major cities worldwide. The company became synonymous with innovation, design, and quality. Apple's products were no longer just gadgets, they were status symbols and tools for creativity. Steve Jobs passed away in 2011, but his vision and leadership had left an indelible mark. Apple continued to grow under Tim Cook, entering new markets like wearables, streaming, and financial services. Today, Apple is the most valuable tech company in the world, with a market valuation of over $3 trillion. Lessons from Apple's journey. Apple's story teaches several important lessons. 1. Vision and passion. Jobs and Wozniak pursued a dream to make technology accessible to everyone. Their vision drove every decision. 2. Innovation through risk. Apple took bold risks, whether it was creating the Macintosh, iPod, or iPhone. They didn't follow trends, they set them. 3. Focus on user experience. Apple's products are designed for humans, not just for technical specs. Simplicity and design matter. 4. Resilience. Apple faced setbacks, near bankruptcy, and fierce competition, but perseverance and smart leadership turned challenges into opportunities. Apple's journey from a garage startup to a global tech giant is one of determination, innovation, and relentless pursuit of excellence. It proves that even the smallest beginnings can lead to extraordinary outcomes if you stay focused and execute your vision. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more inspiring journeys of world-changing innovators.